Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Cooking with Doris. Today I'm starting my series on Thanksgiving. So this is going to be series 1, a Thanksgiving episode, things that we're going to have at Thanksgiving time. So maybe if you've forgotten some recipes, you want to try something new, I'm going to be doing my take on sweet potato pie. So stay tuned. A few of the items I'm going to be using: vanilla, cinnamon, lemon, a little salt, 2 eggs. I'm going to have some melted butter, and I'm going to have 3 sweet potatoes that I'm going to be putting in this boiling water, and also I'm going to use sugar. Okay guys, in here I'm adding my potatoes to the boiling water, and they're rather large, so you have to let them boil a little longer or bake a little longer, whatever you choose to do with your potatoes, and you just have to stick them with a fork or knife or something to make sure they're still soft. And the only thing I wish I would have done, but since I was recording, I didn't bother to take time to let them cool. So you do want them to cool a little bit, and then that way you can get them mashed up. And so here I'm just peeling them, and then I ended up mashing them, cutting them up with the knife, and then I use my my mixer to kind of mix it up, because you want to make sure. I do mine a few times, 3 or 4 times, to make sure the screens are all out of that, because you don't want a stringy sweet potato. And to let everybody know, which I'm sure a lot of you do, you don't have to boil your potatoes with the hurls on them. You can peel them and also boil them and let them steam. That way you can bake them. So it's a number of ways you can do your sweet potatoes for your pie. So here I'm just cutting them up because it's so big, and get them all cut up. And then once I do that, I will blend them with my mixer. I will mix them all up with that. And here I got them all mashed up, so I'm going to mix them up with the blender, and I do like a few times to make sure that I have all of the screens out of the potatoes. You're not going to get every string out, but the majority of it you will be able to get out of your the potatoes or whatever. So I usually do it like 3 or 4 times, and the more you mix it, or the longer you'll see the screens on there. So you just rinse them off, tap it off, and just try it a few, at least 3 or 4 times to get the majority of the screens out of your potatoes. And mine turned out to be really nice, and I didn't have a stringy potato pie. So you see, you want to remove all of that, And so I just get that off, and I tried about, as I say, 3 or 4 times, and making sure the potatoes, the screens are all out of there, as much as you can get out. So I usually try it, like I said, 3 or 4 times to get the screens out. And then the more you mix, the less strings you see. And then you see it's even less, which means that I might try it one more time and then just let that do it. But I was really satisfied at this point. And there's really nothing there, so. Now here I begin to add my ingredients, which I use about 1 1/4 cups, because I ended up toward the end adding more sugar, but I added about 1 1/4 cups of white sugar. Now, to each his own how they do their sweet potato pies. Some people add brown and white sugar. I only add the white sugar to my sweet potato pie. and I add about a teaspoon of vanilla and about a half a teaspoon of the lemon extract. I use cinnamon and a little dash of salt. Sometimes I will use about a fourth of a teaspoon of allspice. And this is my lemon flavor. I'm going to add a little bit of that and a dash of salt, and I add, cinnamon and about a stick of butter to my potatoes. And I've seen people add carnation milk, flour, condensed milk. I even saw someone the other day use instant pudding in their sweet potato pie, but I don't do that. I just add what you see here. And I add eggs later. This is my melted butter that I add to my pie. So I add everything except eggs so I can taste it to make sure it's sweet enough. So I just get everything all mixed up. Some people add lemon zest, they add orange juice, just a number of ways I guess you can do your pie. And as I said, I add cinnamon, lemon, and vanilla extract. I add sugar, I add melted butter, and I add a couple of eggs. So I forgot to turn the oven on here. So I'm gonna bake it. I do bake my potatoes 350 for about an hour and 10 minutes, and they turn out fine. And here I'm gonna just taste before I add my eggs to make sure I have enough sugar in there. And I ended up adding a little more sugar, probably about a few tablespoons of sugar. And a lot of people was asking why their pies turn out to be dark. If you add too much of your allspice, nutmeg, cloves, those seasonings will make your pies dark, so you won't get a pretty bright pie. So you don't want to add a lot of allspice and that to your pies, unless you're going to have a dark pie. So I would give it another taste before I add my eggs. And I have 2 eggs, and this is for 2, and I add a little bit more sugar, and this 2 eggs, and this 3 large potatoes gave me 2 sweet potato pies. And so here I'm going to mix the sugar up, and then I will add, which would be enough sugar for me. Excuse me. And then after this, I will add my eggs. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as I said in the beginning, I will be doing my Thanksgiving series where I will be doing things that people might want to bake or make or cook or whatever at Thanksgiving time. So we have the sweet potato pie here, and I do have a video where I'm doing the cornbread, and that same ingredients you can make your dressing with. So I will be doing that upcoming soon, the way that I do my dressing for Thanksgiving. And also was at, a lot of people say, what's the difference between stuffing and dressing? Just the way it sounds. Stuffing is when you're going to stuff your turkey or stuff your chicken. It goes inside the cavity of the turkey or the chicken. But dressing, you just bake it, by itself. And here I'm going to just add now the fillings to my pies. Y'all have to excuse me. I'm just all over the place here. Just want to make sure that you guys see the pie shells. And that turned out to be, and this is the color. If you don't want a dark pie, you want it to be about this color right here. So as I said, I'm going to bake it at 350 for about an hour and 10 minutes, and it turned out just perfect. And here they are finished, and they have baked for that hour and 10 minutes. I'm going to take them out of the oven, and they look really nice, and they turn out delicious. And this is the pie. And I'm so sorry about the moving around with the camera. I just had a moment here, and trying to adjust it to so you can see, because sometimes it's too light. I wanted you to see that the really natural color of the pies. The crust was fine. The pie turned out beautiful, and I just thought it was just wonderful. And this is the finishing of the pies. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I thank you so, so, so much.